when an experienced diver, Eugene Fleischer, decided to dive at a very famous but dangerous spot on August 18, 2023, he didn't think that he would be one of the 20 people that died there. After so many deadly accidents and a lawsuit involving a Boy Scout falling from the Sky Challenge rock wall, the owner had no choice but to shut it down. But in 2022, they reopened it as Lake Hydra, daring adventurers to face its perilous waters once more. In today's episode, we will uncover many deaths that took place at Dutch Springs. This is the true tragedy of Eugene Fleischer at Dutch Springs. Just an hour north of Philadelphia lies Dutch Springs, a serene-looking, spring-fed lake that hides a scary secret. This place, which attracts thousands of divers annually, has a chilling history of fatalities. Opened in 1980 as a recreational diving and aqua park, Dutch Springs was once a quarry owned by the National Portland Cement Company. In 1933, the National Portland Cement Company purchased the land now known as Dutch Springs and began manufacturing cement and mining limestone. As the mining operation continued, the quarry began to fill with water, requiring continuous pumping to keep it operational. When the company shut down in the 1970s, the pumps were turned off, and the quarry filled with water, creating a 50-acre, 100-foot-deep lake that seemed perfect for diving. From the moment you step onto the grounds, Dutch Springs exudes a sense of adventure. Divers of all levels come here, drawn by the promise of clear waters and unique underwater attractions. Sunken vehicles, aircraft, and platforms offer a playground for the curious and the brave. The visibility underwater, often between 20 to 30 feet, is a diver's dream. The lake is home to various fish species, including largemouth bass, bluegills, koi, yellow perch, rainbow trout, zebra mussels, crayfish, and palomino trout, adding to the underwater spectacle. However, this dream can quickly turn into a nightmare. Since the first recorded death in 1986, at least 18 divers have lost their lives here. The quarry's depths, reaching up to 100 feet in some areas, are as treacherous as they are fascinating. The combination of deep water, submerged structures, and varying visibility can disorient even experienced divers. Despite strict safety measures and mandatory certifications, accidents continue to happen. Between 1986 and 2015, at least 16 deaths occurred, including that of a teenage boy in 2011. Why, then, do people keep coming back? What draws divers to this site despite its grim record? The answer lies in the unique combination of challenge and allure. Dutch Springs offers an environment that is both controlled and wild, where divers can test their limits while exploring fascinating underwater relics. The thrill of adventure and the promise of clear waters continue to attract divers, even as they acknowledge the risks involved. This sense of adventure, coupled with the perceived safety of a controlled environment, makes Dutch Springs a popular destination. However, this allure comes with significant risks. The tragedy of Dutch Springs is best illustrated by its long history of fatal accidents. Christine Mazurek, a 22-year-old from Philadelphia, was the first person to die here in 1986. Her death was a harbinger of the many to follow. Christine's accident highlighted the inherent risks of diving in an environment that, while controlled, is far from foolproof. She wasn't the last to face trouble in these waters. Fast forward to July 7, 2015, when 16-year-old Kyle Culp drowned. Kyle was diving with his father, an experienced diver, but something went terribly wrong. Kyle came under distress and couldn't reach the surface in time. His father's frantic efforts to save him were in vain. This incident underscores the importance of the buddy system in diving, which is a fundamental rule yet often overlooked. Diving with a partner can mean the difference between life and death. Eugene Fleischer's death on August 18, 2013, brought intense scrutiny. Eugene was an experienced diver with top-notch equipment. Yet, during his dive, his gear failed, leading to his tragic drowning. His meticulously maintained equipment was later found to be maladjusted, a small oversight with fatal consequences. Equipment failure isn't the only danger. Medical issues can also turn deadly underwater. On June 16, 2018, Laura J. Murphy, a 41-year-old from Brooklyn, was found unresponsive at Dutch Springs. While the exact cause of her death remains under investigation, it's a stark reminder that health problems can exacerbate the already high risks of diving. Divers must undergo thorough medical checkups before diving, but not everyone does. Dutch Springs has its share of entanglement hazards too. The underwater attractions, such as old vehicles and aircraft, are fascinating but dangerous. Divers can get caught in the debris. On December 29, 2018, Isidore Popolowski went missing while diving at Dutch Springs. It took 5 days to recover his body. He had drowned after becoming entangled in underwater structures. The lake's depths add another layer of danger. At its deepest point, Dutch Springs reaches 100 feet. Many divers, especially those new to the sport, are not prepared for the challenges of deep diving. Buoyancy control becomes crucial, as does the ability to maintain air supply. Inexperienced divers often panic, leading to rapid, uncontrolled ascents. This can cause air embolism, a condition where air bubbles enter the bloodstream, which is often fatal. Panic is a common thread in many of these accidents. Diving is a sport that requires calm and control. The moment a diver loses their cool, the risks multiply. Panic leads to poor decisions, like abandoning the buddy system or making a rushed ascent. It's not just the deep, dark waters that are dangerous. Even shallow areas can be deadly if a diver panics. Training is another critical factor. Dutch Springs requires all divers to show proof of certification and sign a waiver. However, the level of training can vary widely. Not all divers are equally prepared for the challenges they might face underwater at Dutch Springs. Some undergo extensive courses lasting several weeks, gaining thorough training and experience. Others, however, complete weekend certifications, which leaves a disparity in skill levels. This difference can be deadly, as even a small mistake can lead to catastrophic consequences. Dutch Springs has implemented several safety measures to mitigate risks. Divers must sign waivers, show certification, and follow strict guidelines. The park employs dive masters and safety personnel who patrol the area and are ready to assist at a moment's notice. Despite these efforts, the sheer number of divers and the inherent risks of the sport mean accidents still happen. Take the tragic case of Paula Brody in 2009. At 47 years old, Paula was an experienced diver, yet she drowned at Dutch Springs, becoming another statistic in the lake's grim history. The exact details of her death remain unclear, but it serves as a stark reminder that experience alone isn't always enough to prevent accidents. The buddy system, a fundamental rule in diving, is strictly enforced at Dutch Springs. Solo diving is prohibited unless the diver has a special certification and uses a dive locator. Despite this rule, some divers ignore it, significantly increasing their risk. Diving alone can be deadly, and there is no one to assist in an emergency. Dutch Springs also offers attractions beyond scuba diving, such as the Aqua Park and Sky Challenge, catering to a broader audience. These features make the site a versatile recreational destination, yet the focus remains on diving. Local divers participate in an annual New Year's Eve dive, a tradition that underscores the site's popularity and the community's dedication to the sport. The facility plays a role in educational programs as well. The Boy Scouts of America offers a merit badge in scuba diving, and Dutch Springs provides site access and equipment rentals for these activities. This involvement in training and education highlights the site's commitment to promoting safe diving practices. However, recurring accidents indicate that more needs to be done to ensure diver safety. One incident involved a Boy Scout named Carl Shotwell, who fell 30 feet from the Sky Challenge rock wall in 2006. Despite being in a safety harness, the then 13-year-old fell and suffered severe injuries, breaking bones and rupturing tendons in his knees. The lawsuit highlighted that employees at Dutch Springs failed to properly secure him, and the Boy Scouts lacked the proper certification to organize the event, raising serious concerns about safety protocols and oversight for such activities. Yet, divers still flock to Dutch Springs. Why? The answer lies in the unique combination of convenience, adventure, and community. Unlike ocean diving, Dutch Springs offers a freshwater environment where divers don't need a boat or have to deal with the corrosive effects of salt water on their gear. They can simply hop into the water and enjoy the world below. Freshwater diving at Dutch Springs is just as majestic as ocean diving. Divers can encounter schools of koi or trout, explore sunken vehicles, and navigate through submerged structures without the fear of sharks. It's a fun and convenient way to build diving skills, see underwater life up close, and enjoy the company of fellow divers. Despite its grim history, Dutch Springs reopened in 2022 under the new name Lake Hydra, continuing to draw adventurers into its depths. The rebranding hasn't erased the site's past, but it highlights the enduring appeal of this diving spot. The thrill of exploration and the sense of community among divers keep them coming back, even with the risks involved. This was the true tragedy of the deadly Dutch Springs.